Now in this video lecture we would be discussing about close packing in crystals, right? How constituent particles, which are atoms, ions or solids, are packed in the crystalline solids, right? That give them high density, incompressibility, right? Because we have already been introduced to this, that solids have high density, they are incompressible, they have definite geometric shapes, because the packets, or I'm sorry, because the particles in solids are closely packed and they are packed in definite geometric fashion, right? They are arranged in definite geometric fashion, right? Now we already know that we are already introduced to the concept of coordination number in the previous video lectures, right? Coordination number is, we know that particles are arranged in solids, right, in 3 dimensions. If we talk about crystalline solids, in crystalline solids we know that particles are arranged in 3 dimensions, right? And coordination number is, if we talk about, if we try to find coordination number of one particle, right, the coordination number of that particle is its closest nearest neighbors, right? When we talk about closest nearest neighbor, we mean the particles that are touching it, right? The number of particles that are touching that particular particular reference particle for which we are trying to find coordination number is its coordination number. So the number of particles that are touching that particular particle, or we say its immediate neighboring particles, right, is its coordination number, right? So we know that solids are stable, right? And they are stable. We know that any system that is stable have minimum energy, right? So in solids, right, if we talk about the stability of solids in terms of coordination number, the solids that have maximum coordination number, right, or the solids that are surrounded by maximum number of particles are more stable, right? We would be looking, when we will study about the arrangement of particles in solids, we will look at coordination number, right? If there are two types of arrangements in which particles can be arranged, right, or packed in a solid, right, the arrangement that gives you that gives you maximum coordination number, maximum value of coordination number, would be the best arrangement or the stable arrangement, right? So in close packing of crystals, we will look into the concept of coordination number, right? Coordination number for packaging efficiency and compactness, right? We will look into coordination number, right? Coordination number we'll look at, because coordination number gives the compactness to the solid, or it makes the solid stable, right? Coordination number gives, or if we talk about coordination number, we are referring to, or we can relate the coordination number to the compactness of the solid. Compactness of it tells or hints towards the compactness of solids, right? And also its packaging efficiency, right? When we talk about packaging efficiency, by packaging efficiency we mean the total space that is occupied by the particles in a solid, right? More is the space that is occupied by the particles in a solid, more is its packaging efficiency. More space occupied means less empty space. So lesser is the empty space, higher is the packaging efficiency, right? So packaging efficiency, this term, when we talk about it, means space occupied by the particles. right? Space occupied by the particles. Now, let's now talk about how particles are arranged, right, in solid, right, that makes them hard, right? We will look at now in this lecture, we will look at particle arrangement in terms of packaging efficiency, right, that we have already discussed, and coordination number, right? So whatever particle arrangement we would be discussing here, just concentrate on the coordination number, right, and the packaging efficiency, how efficiently the particles are arranged in a solid, right, such that there should be maximum space that is occupied by the solids, right, sorry, the particles, and it should have minimum open space, that is empty space, right? Now if we talk about the one dimensional, let's talk about, we know that in crystalline solids, the crystals, the in crystalline solids, the particles, right, are arranged in three dimensions. We know that crystalline solids are three dimensional, right? So particles would be arranged in three dimensions, right? So we'll look first at how particles can be arranged in one dimension, right? So in one dimensions, if you look at this arrangement, what we had, these spheres, okay, in this video lecture, the particles would be represented by spheres, right? These are spheres that are representing particles in a solid, right? So if you look at this arrangement, right, this arrangement is in straight line, right, which means particles are arranged in one dimension, right? So there is only one way in which we can arrange particles in one dimensions, which is this arrangement, right, where we can place these spheres side by side, right, like this, to form this row, right? And if we look, if we imagine the entire shape of the crystal, right, this one dimensional row will just represent an edge of the crystal, right? So this is the first one at the top, represents one dimensional arrangement, right, where spheres are placed side by side in a row, right, which results in the formation of a crystal, right, which results in the formation of a crystal edge, right? This is your one dimensional arrangement, right? We said that we would be looking, whatever arrangement we are studying here, will look at the coordination number, right, and the packaging efficiency. So here if we talk about the coordination number, we said that the coordination number is its immediate members, right, its immediate neighboring members, its immediate neighbors. So if we talk about, say, this particle, right, this sphere which represents a particle, two spheres are touching it, right, it has two immediate members, right, or we say it has two immediate members which are touching this particular reference sphere, right? So the coordination number is 2, right? Its nearest neighbors are 2. It has two nearest neighbors, right? So here coordination number is 2, right? And this is the only way we can arrange particles in one dimension, right? And it represents the edge of a crystal, right? Now let's come to this two dimensions. Two dimensions is so like this. This is two dimension, right? So particles can be arranged here and here, right? X-axis and y-axis simply. So this arrangement, right, and this arrangement, right, shows you arrangement of particles in a solid in two dimensions, right? So in two dimensions, starting with the first row which is in one dimensions, right, shows you the arrangement of particles in one dimension, right? So starting with that row, the subsequent rows can be arranged in two different ways, right? We can arrange, if I arrange one row below it, below this, right, and keep arranging rows below it, what I get is a two-dimensional structure, right? So there are two ways I can arrange a second row below this row. There are two ways. So one way is this, the other is this. Like you can see that particles are differently arranged in these two forms, right? If we look at this arrangement, this is a two-dimensional arrangement of particles. the spheres in the second row is exactly below the spheres in the first row, right? Spheres, I repeat, spheres in the second row is exactly below the spheres in the first row. That is, the rows or the consequent rows, right, are arranged horizontally and vertically. They are aligned horizontally and vertically, right? So we say that spheres in adjacent rows have arranged horizontally have horizontal as well as vertical alignment, right? If you look at this two-dimensional arrangement, the horizontal rows and the vertical rows, right, have the it has horizontal as well as vertical alignment. The spheres, this represents vertical alignment, so spheres are vertically aligned, right? And here spheres are horizontally aligned, and the spheres in the second row is exactly below the sphere in the first row, right? Now again, if we look at the coordination number, right, coordination number is, let's take this as reference sphere. So coordination number is number of its immediate members, or the number of spheres that are touching this reference sphere is its coordination number. So let's find the number of spheres that are touching it directly. This sphere, this one and this one, right? So if we try to join these particles, join the center of these spheres, right, what we will get is, right, what we will get is, I'm sorry, this is your coordination number, right? Coordination number for this sphere, which represents a particle, is its nearest neighbors, right, or the immediate members or its immediate neighbors that are touching it, right? We have 1 2 3 4. So coordination number for this is 4, right? And what kind of packaging is this, right? If we want to find what kind of packaging is this type of, if you, right, if these are 4 particles, if we consider these 4 particles, right, if we join their centers like this, what we get is a square kind of a structure, right? So this packaging is known as square packaging, right? What we say it as square close packaging, right? This is square close packaging. Square close packing, right? Square close packing of particles in a crystal, right? So coordination number is 4, and this is known as square close packing, because if we join the center of these spheres that are touching one another, we get a square, right? So this is a square close packing, right? Now if you just look at the second kind of arrangement, right, and the spheres, right, if you look at this arrangement, right, if you just look at this arrangement and just try to see how this arrangement is different from this arrangement, right? Here this is one dimensional arrangement of spheres, right, or particles. If you try to make this kind of arrangement, right, starting with this one dimension, the second row that you will form, right, in the second row the spheres in the second row are placed in the depressions, right, between the two spheres, right, in the first row, right. So the spheres in the second row are placed in the depressions of the first row, right. If you look at this, these are the depressions, right, these are the depressions. So these spheres in the second row would be placed in these depressions, right. So here in this diagram we have just shown 3 rows, right. Now we'll just look at the coordination number and what kind of figure it is forming. Like here we have checked that it's forming a square, so it's a square close packing, right. Here if you just look at this particle, let's take this sphere as a reference sphere. Let's see how many spheres are touching it, right, which are its immediate members, which we call it as coordination number. This, right. These are 1 2 3 4 5 6 spheres that are touching this reference sphere. 6 sphere means the coordination number of this arrangement is 6, right. And these are closest members, nearest closest members, neighbors or members. Since these 6 are closest neighbors, right, if you want to see what kind of arrangement is this, what we do is we will join the center of these closest neighbors, right, and what we get is a hexagon, right. So this is your hexagon close packing, right. So now we know 2 things about this. Coordination number is 6, right, and this is HCP. Hexagonal close packing is represented by HCP. Similarly, this is represented by SCP, square close packing, right. Now if you compare these two, right, as we said that the arrangement that has high coordination number would be more stable, right, and would be more efficient, right. So this arrangement would be more stable and more efficient, right, because coordination number is high here. Here coordination number is 4, here coordination number is 6. So this arrangement is the preferred arrangement, right. And if you look at the packaging efficiency of this arrangement, right, the packaging efficiency, if you look at in these two arrangements, in the second hexagonal close packing, the packaging efficiency would be more, right. The particles in hexagon close packing is more efficiently packed, right. Now these we have arranged as of now we have made one row, one layer, right, or what we say is, if you just look at this structure, the third row that we have formed, right, this third row is in line with the first row, right. If this is your A row, right, this is differently arranged, this one is differently arranged, right, as compared to first row. So this is your B row, right, and we said that the third row is arranged same as the first row. If you look at this sphere is in line with this sphere, this is in line with this sphere, this is in line with this sphere. So arrangement of third row is same as the arrangement of first row, right. So this is your A, right. So we call it as AB arrangement, AB arrangement, and this arrangement is your hexagonal close packing, right, with coordination number 6, right. Similarly, if we talk about this arrangement, what kind of arrangement is this? This is A. The second, the third and the subsequent rows are similarly arranged in the same way. So this is also A, this is also A. So this is your A arrangement. AAA arrangement, which is your square close packing. And this is not efficient way of packing, we say, right? Here, if we talk about the packaging efficiency here, 52.4% of space is occupied by these particles, right? And we said that this is preferred arrangement of particles, which is hexagonal close packing. And here packaging efficiency is high, which is around 60.4%, right? The packaging efficiency here is your 60.4%, right? This is your packaging efficiency. And we said that what is packaging efficiency? The space occupied by these particles, right, which are spheres as of now, because the spheres are representing particles, right? Space occupied by the particles. In hexagonal close packing, more space is occupied by the particles, right? And more is its coordination number. So this is more stable and more efficiently packaged, right? More efficiently packaging of particles in hexagonal close packing, right? Now this is your two-dimensional 2D arrangement of particles, right? Now let's look at the 3D arrangement of particles, right? In 3D arrangement of particles, right, 3D arrangement of particles, this represents the 3D arrangement of particles. You have similarly arranged 2D arrangement, right? And on that you see these red circles, right? So this 3D arrangement of particles, right, is obtained when you stack these two layers, these two-dimensional layers, one over the other. So what you do is you take two similar arrangements, right, and you stack one layer over the other. What we mean is, this black layer, the spheres in black represents one arrangement, right, and these red represents one arrangement, two-dimensional arrangements, right? So what we do is we take the layer of particles which are represented by red, right? This arrangement of red spheres, right? This is one layer, and arrangement of these black spheres is one arrangement, right? So these are two layers. We take one layer of these red spheres and we stack it or put it over the other layer, right, which is of black spheres, right? Now if you take this kind of arrangement, if you look at this square close packing arrangement, you take the similar layer, right, layer of spheres or layer of particles, and you put the second layer onto the first layer, right? So what you get is a three-dimensional arrangement, right? And the arrangement, let's write it over here, 3D arrangement. 3D arrangement. In 3D arrangement of particles, we stack 2D layers one above the other, right? This is what it means. Stack 2D layers one over the other, right? Now if you look at this SCP 2D arrangement, sorry, this is SCP, right? In SCP, the second layer is closed over first layer such that spheres in second layer are exactly above the first layer, right? If I take this similar kind of arrangement and I put that I'll put that second layer, right, over this first layer, right? All the spheres in the second layer would be exactly above these spheres in the first layer. Spheres in the second layer would exactly be above the spheres in the first layer, right? And these empty spaces, which we call it as voids, you can see these voids here also, right? These voids, right, would also, the voids in the second layer would exactly be come above the voids in the first layer. So spheres are also one above the other, right? And these voids are also one above the other, right? So we say this, the kind of packing, right, that we get from this two-dimensional arrangement is our simple cubic arrangement. It's simple cubic. From this SCP, square close packing, we get 3D arrangement that we get is simple cubic. We get simple cubic arrangement, right? And the unit cell, when a three-dimensional structure is formed from these two layers, right, the unit cell that we get is, the unit cell would be primitive simple cubic, right? It would be primitive cubic unit cell. And we know that in primitive cubic unit cell, the particles are arranged only at the corners, right? And this kind of arrangement is not very much efficient, right? This is an inefficient way of filling the space. So here, just to revise, the lattice obtained is AAA, right? Here, like in the two-dimensional, the lattice was AAA. In three dimensions, I'm sorry, this is not lattice. In two dimension, we call it arrangement. So when we have three-dimensional arrangement of particles, we call it a lattice, right? So here, lattice would be AAA, like this, right? This is the lattice that we get when you stack one square close packing layer over the other, right? One thing we missed here is these kind of empty spaces that you see, right, in this arrangement or in this arrangement, these are known as voids. We call it voids or hollows, right? These are empty spaces. Now in this hexagonal close packing, if you look, this void is a triangular shape, right? So in hexagonal close packing, we have these triangular voids, and we have two kinds of triangular voids. This is one type in which the apex of the triangle is pointing upwards, and this is the other void in which the apex of the triangle is pointing downwards. So we have two kinds of voids, right? In which one is pointing, the apex of the triangle is pointing upward, and in the other void, the apex of the triangle is pointing downward, right? So these are two types of voids we have here, right? Now what you do is, in order to build 3D close packing, this is the 3D close packing that we got just now, this one that we have discussed, simple cubic arrangement, right, of particles, or simple cubic arrangement that we get, right, is from square close packing, right, is from stacking of two square close packing layers, right? Now let's look at this arrangement, right? How the 3D arrangement, what kind of 3D arrangement we get when we stack one layer of this hexagonal close packed particles over the other. Because from this arrangement you want a three-dimensional structure, what you have to do is you have to take the similar layer, right, and you put, or you stack that layer over this layer, right? Then you get what is your three-dimensional arrangement of particles, right? So I'll just continue this in another video lecture, how you can arrange, right, these two layers of hexagonal close packed two-dimensional arrangements, right? Thanks.